Okay, we're back with the Fast Five. The next one is 5 tips to develop someone lagging in your team. Now, these are in no particular order. So, one tip, and I'll tell you exactly what I do. One tip is learn about the person in your team. Find out as much about them as you possibly can, because that's going to give you the premise of what you can do to help them. The second one would be to have your weekly catch-ups. It's vitally important to have your weekly catch-ups, because you don't know what's going to happen to that individual in a week. So a lot of the times, the internal environment, the external environment is going to make a big difference in exactly what they do and what they go through at work. So it's vitally important when you're developing someone is to have your weekly catch-ups. The third thing I would recommend is give them some sort of plan to go away with. I think it's vitally important to sit down with them and see what they can work with. You know, I don't like overloading people to become really good at something. What I like to tend to do is I work with them. Okay. I'll say, okay, let's see what we can do in the next week together. Let's write down a series of things that can help you and give you more discipline in the week ahead, that can make you deal with things that are holding you back. And so that would be my third tip, right? My fourth tip would be to find out exactly what's held them back in the past, previously to where they are right now. Because if we go back in their past, we can see what makes them lag, and it's normally some sort of paradigm or a pattern that's always held them back, or a habit. And now these habits, they're reinforced so much in the individual that changing people's patterns takes about 66 days, and it takes 18 months to reinforce. And a lot of the times what we're dealing with is an issue in the subconscious mind, where those patterns have been formed over many years. And a lot of that has to do with environment. So it's one of those unfortunate things, and it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of being in the right environment. And I guess the fifth one I would suggest is having a very open relationship with someone that's lagging and you want to develop them. Because if it's not open, where you can then turn to them and say, can I ask you, is there anything I can do more to make things better for you, or is there something I missed? And what that does is it creates an open dialogue to being open with one another, and not taking things as a criticism, but more as feedback on the two ends. And to be able to do that takes a lot of resolve from two individuals, because sometimes we're going to hear things that may affect us, and the reason it affects us is because it's part of our habits. So openness and being able to talk to one another and having that open dialogue and your door open to someone that needs to develop is extremely important, so that they can have access to you whenever they need it. Because a lot of the times we tend to think we can't bother that person's too busy. Now, if you said you're both open to discussion, well, that means you're both open to discussion to talk about what you're both dealing with. So if you're making that commitment, be disciplined towards that commitment, because what you'll find is that you'll be able to help more people and help more people develop if you create an open dialogue where you can talk to one another about anything. So they're my 5 tips, guys. I hope they help you out. But if you have any other suggestions that you think are really good, they're my 5 tips, right? So if you have any other suggestions, please let us know.